innovative content, global audience.
Yes, my people. You're welcome to a very, very special edition of Town Hall meetings on SRTV. My name is Daddy Chris, broadcasting from London. Tonight is one of those nights you all been waiting for. I don't know, you all excited. My room is flooded already, the first of its kind. And I know all of you out there are waiting to join. Just before I introduce the guests, as many of you know, is if you want to join this program, actually you can join through the video link, which is almost late now. But you can call in by calling +44 7459 071747. Let me repeat that, +44 7459 071747. You can do that either by WhatsApp or you just can call. Please don't call now. Let me spend some time with my guests before you can call. And easiest way to do it as well is if you join the chat room, you're joining through Facebook or YouTube, you can type in your questions and I will put it across to the guest. That's where. Well, for those of you that don't know, this is a town hall meeting organized by SRTV in partnership with loads of media platforms, so you're going to see it everywhere. What we do is we try to bring in, we use the opportunity here to introduce guests, important guests, to these town hall meetings. Why would we have the town hall meetings? It's a place where we talk to each other about ourselves. So tonight, I have one of the best, one of those you want to meet. I'm talking of no other person than Chief Great Ogboru. He is the governorship candidate under the APGA for the Delta State governorship race come 2023. We are here now, 2023. Actually, it's around the corner. What am I talking about? What we're gonna do tonight is actually get familiar with who Chief Great Ogboru is. He's going to talk. I'm not talking for him. He's going to introduce himself. I don't think he needs to do more. You all know him. But he's going to talk to us really on a serious note through his manifestos and why he's running for this office of this great state. I will be here to ask him difficult questions, and I'm sure many of you have some questions. And please keep it civil, keep it civilized, but you're free to ask questions. On that basis, on that note, I assume everybody understand me. It's with all pleasure that I now introduce to you Chief Great Ogboru. For some reason, his video is off the screen, and get to be very careful, please. Yeah, I can't see Chief on the platform at the moment. You know, it's all this technical stuff from where he is. So we're just gonna wait a little and see. As soon as he gets on board, as soon as I see him on the room, I'm gonna bring him out. So I'll keep watching, but I can tell you already that I have a lot of people on the platform tonight. I will not be introducing them yet. Let me introduce the chief himself first. Who are we meeting tonight? It's Chief Great Ogboru. He's the governorship candidate under the APGA for the Delta State governorship race. I have been opportune to go through his manifestos. I scanned through it. And I have one or two things I will be asking him. If you have not, or if you don't know anything about him, please, you can Google right now who Chief Great Ogboru is. I don't need to tell you. For those of us in Roboland, he's our loved ones. I never know anybody that is so loved more than Chief Great Ogboru in Robo. So, and this election is a test of popularity. It's a test of who we in Delta State will be happy with to pilot the affairs of the state in the next 4 years. So we'll be going to the poll, and it's a time for all of us to make the right decision. Like I said, I am waiting. I don't know why the video chooses this beautiful time to cut off. And I'm sure they are working 24 hours to get that fixed. As soon as Chief come on the platform, like I said, I'll bring him. In the meantime, I'll see if I can have a little chat with one or two supporters because they are on the platform already. So let me say, Let me just share with you first one guy I've met. It was very brief, but I'm going to introduce him quickly. Actually, two of them. They have been here. One is Ambassador Frank Osai. Frank, you're welcome to the show. Thank you. And I have one Professor, Prof. I'm finding it difficult to pronounce your name, but it's all good, Prof. Professor, I don't know. Prof will connect it better. Prof, your phone is on mute, so I'm going to unmute you. Can you unmute yourself?
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Professor Arunai. Professor Arunai.
Professor Arunai. Okay, all right. And thank you, Professor. Welcome.
Thank you.
It's also here with us. I like your glasses.
Thank you.
Yes. And just for the purpose of wait. Once you join the platform, please mute your phone. All right. Once you finish talking, the right thing to do to mute your phone. Otherwise, you're going to have a lot of noise, bounce back and stuff like that. But I'm gonna do that myself now. But it's ideal if you do it yourself. So you're welcome to this town hall meeting. We have more guests on the platform. I won't be bringing everybody in yet. We're still waiting for Chief Great Ogboru to join the platform. He's right here with us right now. And I'm good. Once I have him, what I'll do is it's going to become a one-man thing. So I'm going to bring in Chief Great Ogboru right now, right here. Let me bring Chief. Chief, you're welcome to the platform, sir.
Thank you very much, House. Thank you, everybody. How are you?
Yeah, we are good. It's a pleasure to have you tonight. Definitely a big pleasure, and it's an honor to have you on the platform. Chief, the time is quite short. We know you, but if you can just tell us who you are and maybe your political party and why you're here tonight to talk to us about yourself and about some of the things you have for us in Delta State and in Nigeria in particular. So if you can just quickly get us into the business.
Let me say good evening to everybody first and foremost. If you are looking at the screen there, you'll find that my names are there. Chief Great Ogboru. I'm from Abraka in Delta State, a chieftain of the All Progressive Grand Alliance, APGA, their governorship candidate for that matter. I'm a businessman, I'm a politician, and I'm a philanthropist. These are probably the only ways I can describe myself, except, of course, you may have some other nomenclature to describe me.
No, Chief, you've done it right. You heard him. His name is Chief Great Ogboru. He's a high chief, to be honest. For those of us, we know him. I don't want to talk more about that. You will find out more and more as we go into detail. But Chief, I have you now. For now, I would beg you people to give me, only me and Chief, please, a few minutes. So I'm going to remove a lot of people. Going to be only me and Chief for now, please, guys. Let me rub shoulder with Chief before you guys can come in. So, guys,
that's what they call that. Chris, they say that's face me, I face you.
Yes, sir. Yes, it's now face me, I face you with Chief. Yes, Chief.
Yeah, face me, I face you.
Yes. So my first question would be: this is an extraordinary time, and in our history, in the history of Delta State, in Nigeria as well, that we need a governor that thinks outside the box. What could you tell us right now that makes you different, that singles you out from everyone that is running?
Thank you very much, Chris. Thank you. Well, first and foremost, it is not my job to pass valid judgment or make comparison of my credentials or my capabilities with my co-contestants. That is for the electorate, it's not for me. Nevertheless, let me say, these are extraordinary times, yes, and the extraordinary circumstances, yes. So you need extraordinary hands. And extraordinary hands don't come overnight, they come over experience. Experience in life, experience in business, experience in politics, and otherwise. I want to believe that the history of my life is quite checkered and filled with
Yeah. Don't worry, if the network is shaking, it will come back because that's how it is. Provided it doesn't go away, because we have Chief tonight, and Chief talks so calmly,
Am I
and I
with
really want
you?
us to enjoy this. Yes, sir.
Yes,
Are you
I
there, Chief?
was saying that I am an ordinary man who has lived through some extraordinary circumstances. At a very young age of about 20, 21, 22, without a godfather except the Heavenly Father, I became a very, very successful businessman, an employer of labor, captain of industries, and like I said, a philanthropist for that matter. But not only that, creating wealth and creating jobs and opportunities at a very tender age. And that is extraordinary. But even more extraordinary are the circumstances in which I had to stop abruptly. When in 1990, circumstances orchestrated by the political social environment made the federal government of Nigeria to expropriate all the assets of my company. Everything I had on this earth was taken over by the federal government. That was about 32 years ago.
Yes.
In one fell swoop, $20 million worth of investment and properties were taken all over by the federal government. I was only 32 years old.
Wow.
So at the age of 32 years, I lost over $20 million in one day. But I'm still here. That is an extraordinary experience.
Yes, sir.
And
No story about
yes,
that.
not only, excuse me, not only is it that I survived that, I was able to build businesses by sheer goodwill. I left this country in 1990 with just 600 pounds. I didn't have a foreign account. I still don't do, because I always believe that everything is about Nigeria. So I'm in Nigeria. I will never own a foreign account. Not today, not tomorrow, not ever. So I left here, having lost over $20 million in one day. I was still able to go back to school. Not only that, I was able to manage businesses. I was able to acquire 4 fishing vessels, factory ships, employing about 70 men on each of them, all of them white people. I think with a man who left this country with 600 pounds, pocket money, to acquire four fishing trawlers, factory ships, employing 70 persons on each of them, all foreigners. That is extraordinary too.
Yes, sir.
I hope you agree with me. But not only that, I was able to go to school, acquire 2 master's degrees before I came back to Nigeria. So that in itself is a story that tells you that we are overcomers. We're able to overcome very difficult situations.
Yes.
And I think that anybody who can do that can actually turn things around in Delta State.
Thank
But
you,
let
sir.
us pause. Let us pause. I haven't finished that. I came back to Nigeria and we started the politics. Since 2003, we have been contesting the elections consistently against the PDP. And those who follow the trend of events will tell you that not only do we pose a challenge to the PDP, we actually defeated them severally. On technical grounds, they were able to get away with their Pyrrhic victory in the courts. But in the hearts of the people of Delta State, in the hearts of all reasonable Nigerians, it is a clear statement of fact that we have worsted PDP in Delta State on more than for the opt-in time. And I don't want to think that this will be a different situation. But the good thing is, we are still standing. 2003, 2007, in both elections, we spent 3.5 years in the court. We went to the highest court in the land, challenging the victory of the PDP in those elections. So if we spent 3.5 years in 2 different elections challenging a political party in our state, in one of them we were able to unseat the governor temporarily, and we had to have a re-election. That is also an extraordinary experience. But more extraordinary is the fact that we did it once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times, 7, and we're trying to go for the 7th time. But undaunted, indefatigable, still standing and smiling. So I want to think that the checkered history of my life is quite extraordinary. If you have a contrary opinion, you may tell me so. Thank you very much.
Oh, in fact, I didn't know why I opened that worm. In fact, Chief, I
Yes,
don't need
please.
anybody to tell people. I think they made a decision for themselves. A story can never
Well,
be more extraordinary than this. I don't know why.
well,
You're welcome, Chief.
it's extraordinary circumstances
Yes,
with
sir.
the extraordinary people. We think that the
Definitely.
challenges in
I
the,
think
we
we need
think that the,
extra. This is extraordinary time. Thank you.
yes,
Welcome. Well
yes,
done,
yes.
sir. Well done, sir.
Thank you,
Okay.
thank you.
Straight on, Chief. Straight on. Down to number 2 business of today. It bothers me. I scanned through your manifestos, and there's something I found: the Jubilee agenda or the Jubilee program. What is that,
Yeah,
sir?
yeah. This is a copy of our manifesto,
Okay.
the Jubilee agenda with Jubilee programs.
Okay.
Yeah, the manifesto in itself is quite instructive. It's quite instructive in the sense that the essence of the experiences we have had over the past 20 years or so is telling us something that in Delta State, we have been living with invisible chains. And the essence of the Jubilee agenda is to unchain Delta State, which is to say, to emancipate the people, one, and then, of course, to reposition them, rehabilitate them, and give them a new lease of life. And if you are a Christian like I am, we are trying to say in Delta State by the Jubilee agenda, we shall give them life and give it to them more abundantly. I think that is the succinct way to put it.
Okay. You see, Chief is
But
actually
if you want, I could adumbrate on the manifesto if that's what you are saying. But I will want to commend it to you.
Yes, sir.
I want to commend it to you and to your viewers to take time out to get a copy of the manifesto. It encapsulates everything that is required to make Delta State a new place, to make Delta State a state that is unique in itself, a state that has order, a state that has discipline, a new sense of value, but not only that, developmental strides, not only that, creating wealth and making people happy and making people.
I have to be very careful tonight to make sure the people don't flood the call before we finish. For your information, please, I know you guys have questions to ask, but please bear with me. Let me finish before I bring you in. Let me have just some few minutes. It's one-on-one with Chief first. After me, everybody can come in. Chief.
In a nutshell.
Yes.
In a nutshell.
Yes,
our Jubilee agenda is to emancipate Delta State and to give them a new lease of life. Yes, we had always looked at the manifesto that we have relative to the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. Whereas they had 17-point agenda in the Sustainable Development Goals, we are able by a 7-point agenda to capture the essence of those 17 points. So the Jubilee agenda actually captures the 17-point sustainable goals of the United Nations. And I think being as serious-minded as I believe we are, implementing this agenda in Delta State will make Delta State experience a new lease of life, a new sense of value, a new direction, and a new people.
Chief, to be honest, this is one thing that concerns me most.
Yes.
Over the years, Delta State in particular has been run by what I call goody-goody ideology. What it means is we've been run by governors who goes to Abuja, collect some money, and spend it on infrastructure. So all we ever hear is to be a good governor is how much they spend on infrastructure. None of them really actually place emphasis on wealth creation, creating wealth for us, because we are a rich state. And at the end of it, as it is now, we become poor people living in a rich state. What will you do differently to create wealth for us in Delta State when you become the governor?
Well, infrastructural development. When we first heard of this question earlier on, somebody mentioned to me about infrastructural development. We're not so sure if you meant stomach infrastructure or if you were talking of structural developments as in bridges and schools and things like that.
Yeah.
In any case, I think you have tried to define it more appropriately by saying that you are talking about building of physical infrastructure. Am I right?
Yeah, you're right. You're right, Chief. You're right.
Good.
But at least we can, yes.
There is nothing wrong if the governments are doing that. Yes, they are doing that because you cannot give what you don't have. What they have is a background of receiving and spending. They do not have the background of being able to add that extra synergy that comes from leadership, from management of resources. They do not have that because they were never put through that experience. To be a businessman from the scratch, you will have to be able to make sure that 2 and 2 can give you 5. That is what synergy is all about. And that's what we are bringing to the table. The ability to add value to the resources that we receive. That kind of value means taking the right decisions, making the right plans, and allowing the people to participate in their own decision making. That is the value of leadership. If that is to be done, you will find that we may not.
All right. As usual, you know, the Nigerian network is going to come in and out. That's why we need we need better leadership
Of
this time.
How much people, how many people can we take out of the poverty line? What type of education are we having? What type of quality education are we having? What type of Medicare are we giving to the people? What is the nature of the hygiene level in the society? These are added values to money. Money cannot buy some of these things. Unfortunately, when you have a leadership that is bereft of ideas, then it's all about how much money we have and what we can spend them on, not about adding value on making sure that those monies can actually achieve much more than what they should. What that means is the ability to manage resources astutely, the ability to manage resources wisely, ability to manage resources prudently, and for the benefit of the people. That is what the added value is all about. When some people are building schools and building buildings and roads and all of that, it's about awarding contracts. For us, the bottom line is how well our people are fed, how well they are schooled, how well they are clothed, how well they are housed. These are the things that we are bringing to the table. And that's what we're going to add value to the money which we're going to be getting from the federal government. But having said that, how do we create wealth? If you look at this manifesto we have here, we clearly said that we'll be investing in critical areas in which the state has comparative advantage. And we talked about the oil and gas sector. We talked about the maritime sector. We talked about the agricultural sector. And and what have you. All these areas are areas that government has to invest in. And let me not just let me put it this way. There can capitalists without capital. Capitalists without capital. How do you function without money in a capitalist society? I'm in the village here. I'm talking from my village here.
Okay.
You go to the inner parts of this village. There are some people who will not see 1,000 naira in a month. There are some people who see 1,000 naira. Some even will not even see 1,000 naira in a year. There are very many of them replete all over the state and maybe over this country. Those are the people that we are targeting to lift them out of poverty, to take them out of subsistence, and to make sure that they have a sense of living and they live above subsistence as human beings. Now, maybe you'll be coming to that. I know you will come to that eventually. the Equal Opportunity Local Government Development
Yo,
Initiative.
that's where I'm coming, Chief. That's where I'm coming. In fact, because that is one of the things I picked up from the manifesto, and I was saying, wow, because over the years, to be fair, 90% of our governors, their cash cow has been the local government fund. Some of them, they single-handedly control the local government, make sure the money doesn't go there. So the local government are just there doing nothing. When I got through your manifestos, you said you're going to work with the local government, even allocating some huge amount of money for them to grow their communities. Chief, how visible, how possible is that? Because we've not seen that. We've not seen an active local government in Delta State from this democratic dispensation. There has been no active local government. In fact, I saw my local government chairman yesterday. He was trying to put some stupid things on the school, and they were clapping for him. I know the man is not getting the money. There's nothing he can do. Chief, please tell us about it. I'm sure every Deltans want to hear this, and every local government chairman out there, and even those of us in our local communities, we want to know how our life can be touched by our local government. Why are they there? Are they there to look our faces?
If you see, this is our manifesto. This is our manifesto, and it talks about the Equal Opportunity Local Government Development Initiative. And by it, we are saying that we recognize that developmental strides are important, but that not one person in this state can tell you that he knows the challenges facing all the people or all the communities in this state. So the way for this government, which I am going to lead by the grace of God, to reach the people, is to create a board in each of these local governments and to make sure that those boards are able to get 200 million naira every month for their own immediate developmental challenges. It is not a populist idea. It's actually trying to make sure that we are bringing government to the people. Like the United Nations put it, it is to make sure that in the quest to live, that nobody is left behind. As a governor, if I give each local government 200 million and they manage it themselves in their local government, for themselves, by themselves, deciding what is important for them, of course, with little guidance from the state government about the sectoral allocations of applications, only as an advice. But the bottom line is they must decide for themselves once and for all who should manage, what should manage, how it should be managed, where it should be applied in their own communities. The beauty of this is it puts money right in circulation in those societies, in the communities. Where you have 200 million naira going into each local government every month to the benefit of the indigenes of that local government. And by that, I mean people who reside in that local government. You are doing something that is extraordinary. The multiplier effect of that 200 million in each local government every month is such that over a period of 1 year, you are going to see multiple growth centers, multiple developmental centers in Delta State. And that will change the surface of the state for good. Having said that, it also gives our youths, because we are saying that this program will be managed by the youths. We recognize that there are challenges. The youth of today didn't have the opportunities we had. When we were much younger, we could be rich. For instance, I became extremely wealthy at a very early age. Not many people can do that today legitimately. Leadership skills are important. So we are dedicating this program to people between the ages of 25 and 40 for the management of their local government. Because we think by so doing, we are creating future leaders from the local government, future managers from the local government, and then, of course, we are creating a human resource portfolio that can translate into a state portfolio. So all of these are not populist ideas. These are ideas that actually mean that we are changing the paradigm, shifting from what we used to know to a new paradigm in which it is the people, their welfare, that must decide what we do. The people how they live, the conditions where they live. These are important for us. The hygiene level in the state here has to change. It's too dirty. Unfortunately, coming from Warri to Abraka here, I weep. I have described Delta State as a state in the bush. But when you are driving, you are just driving through a bush all the time, from Warri Airport to Abraka, from here to, if you go into the other Trunk B roads, you are just driving through the bush. You are on a what do you call it? What do you call this? Dual carriageway. You don't see the person on the other side. These are abnormalities. We are living like animals. Unfortunately, that is supposed to be function of government to change that. We'll reverse that and make sure that we make Delta State a haven for its people, not just by fiscal infrastructure, by changing the mindset of the people, but by the grace of God. Nothing happens without Him. So we're also going to be praying to God that whereas we have these good intentions, God should not only give us the opportunity and the will, should give the people of Delta State the heart to receive and to accept change. So the God factor cannot be taken from you. We didn't put the God factor in the manifesto, but the fact that we have a Jubilee agenda tells you that the God factor is there. And I believe that with the God factor, all things are possible.
Thank you. You see, for those of you just joining us, this is Town Hall Meetings organized by TV, and our guest tonight is the Chief Great Ogboru. He's the governorship candidate under the APGA for the Delta State governorship race. For those of you, he has made it clear some of his agenda. Like I said, I'm sincere. What I really found fascinating is how he said he's going to engage the local government. That's something we've not seen in Delta State. Our local government has been sleeping. In fact, and I do know if every local government could get 200 million naira, you can imagine what would they be doing? They would be impacting lives. And I think it's very important. That's why we have 3 tiers of government. Unfortunately, in this dispensation, it has not been so. But that being said, Chief, they want to come in, so they want to talk. So let me ask my last question and I'll give them some audience. Sincerely, Chief, if we say this battle is an easy one, that would be a great lie, because here you're standing against 2 huge political parties, perhaps the biggest political parties in Africa, the PDP and the APC. And not only that, these are people with money bags. They are sharing it. We've seen it in the primaries. And in fact, Olorogun Kenebagi is also knocking on the door. These are money bag people. How do you plan to overcome all these, what would I call, these giants? How do you plan to overcome the giants? Sir?
No, you actually used the wrong word there. These are dinosaurs. Yes. And the dinosaur experience is going to take place in Delta State. The dinosaurs are extinct already, and I believe that those 2 parties you mentioned as giants, which are dinosaurs, are like those dinosaurs going to go into extinction. Not because I'm saying so, but the imperative of what we are talking about and what we are bringing to the table is such that when the people taste the type of governance that we shall bring to them, they will never think of going into the PDP or APC again. In any case, I think you didn't quite get something right. There have only been 2 forces. There have only been 2 forces in Delta State when it comes to political engagement: the PDP and the forces led by the Ogboru family. Consistently over the past 20 years, we have been the champions of the electoral contest. PDP always won by hook or crook, by subterfuge. But we, because we are Democrats, we have always done what we believe we should do. We have challenged their victory to the highest cost in the land, and we have done that peacefully, believing that one day change will come. And I want to believe that that one day has come with the beavers, and that with beavers, those idiosyncrasies that we have had in the riverine communities will not be able to play out. So those votes are going to count. And those inflated ballots, that invalid ballots that have been used to make governments in Delta State will not be there. And if you took that out of the equation, it is clear that there's only one person who will be the winner. And that will be the party that is led by Chief Great Ogboru, the APGA. I don't see PDP or APC as a challenge. With PDP, we have fought them severally. They know, they will tell you. They are my brothers too, don't forget that. So we will deal with them politically and as a family. And with the APC, I was their candidate in the last election.
Yes.
Before we went into the APC, APC only has 67,000 votes in this state. We went into the APC. APC became a big party in Delta State.
Yes, that's true.
We have left the shell behind. The essence of the essence of the opposition in Delta State is right here talking with you. So we will do what we have always done before: organize the people of Delta State, challenge the PDP. For the APC, they are not a contest at all. No matter how much money, of course, they have a lot of it, but the people are wiser for it. They know where the money is coming from. They know that it is their money. They will take that money, but they will vote for change.
Right vote.
Thank you.
Yes, in fact, I'm excited. I don't know about you. I'm excited, because we're so lucky, we're so blessed with so much talent in Delta State. When you meet great now, you can see in fact, the love. This I know, but tonight I can feel it. Great, you are truly great, and it will be a pleasure if Delta State can have you to serve, because we'll be going great. We'll become greater, and that is something I know I can prophesy.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. What I want to do is allow those of you on the platform, especially those of you that are on the video, to now join in. There's a lady, one of our chiefs, is want to ask a question. Gladys Iberigo. If you finish talking, I will mute it. Go on.
Okay. You are welcome, sir. Thank you, Daddy Chris, for inviting me every time to this platform.
Thank you very much, madam. How are you?
I'm fine. I am Chief Mrs. Ubiribo. So I'm from Agbon Kingdom. And I've been hearing you talking about leadership skills.
My neighbor.
Yeah. We have less time. If not, I could have defined leadership skills. And you're talking about sustainable goals. You're talking about manifesto. But I live in UK. I live in United Kingdom. And what I want to appeal, I have to appeal to you. I don't want to criticize. I want to appeal. Watching you, listening to you. If it's that alone, I personally will vote for you. Because what you are explaining to us now, if you can put it in practice, I'll be very, very happy. But I want to appeal to you. We live in United Kingdom, we come to Nigeria. When we get to Moritala Airport, we're already scared. Look at Saple, I'm from Saple. Look at the killing. So if they vote you as the governor of Delta State, will you sit down on the table and talk with what is making them killing people? They're killing people every day in Delta States. What is causing
yes,
it?
Yes, madam.
Gladys.
The type of society, Madam Gladys, the environment you live will affect your psyche, will affect all that you do in one way or another. In Delta State, the environment it is not clean enough for people to live and to live orderly. Everywhere you look at is death. And you see, because I think Adam Smith put it this way, he says that the conditions under which people work will affect their output. If you are in a dirty environment, you tend to think dirty. So yes, what we are bringing to the table is holistic. It's not just talking about tackling crime. Tackling crime could just be the effort of the police or the law enforcement agencies, but there are other ways socially of tackling crime. If we create jobs and opportunities and a clean environment and a safe environment, the propensity for people to commit crimes will be reduced. So that is one aspect of tackling the issue, and that is where the government comes in, not necessarily the police force. Today, you know that the police is not under the control of the governor of the state. It's still controlled from Abuja. But as governor, yes, we will make sure that we also collaborate with the police force in Delta State to find ways to bring about curbing criminal activities. There are some suggestions that we may have to put CCTV cameras all over the place, but CCTV cameras on their own will not stop criminal activities. So we have to also make people understand that they must change their value system. They must all understand that the police is not the only person that has the responsibility to police the society. We all have to become policemen in our society. But that comes when people love and believe in the society in which they live. People will not defend the territory or the society if they feel frustrated, they feel hungry, they feel cheated, or they feel that they have been oppressed by that same society. So some of what you are saying is that actually people venting their anger on the system. But where they can see and we can show vividly that yes, the government cares, yes, the government is doing them to make sure that life for you and your brother and your sister and your parents is well taken care of, people will be responsive. We were youths. I grew up in this Delta State. Some of the things I see happening now could never happen in our time. In our time, we were quite jealous. You couldn't even chase our sister in our presence. Who would deal with you? But today we hear that people are raping our mothers in the market and no youth is rising because they're just stupid. They have given up. But when they have something to defend, when they have something they believe in, they will not take that nonsense from anybody. Nobody will come and trespass their environment, no matter who that person is. He'll be brought. There's no society where criminals hide. You bring them out. 24 hours, you find them. So it's a holistic approach, madam. Don't worry. The Jubilee agenda is to free everybody, is to emancipate and to restore all Deltans in every ramification of the world, in every sector that you can imagine, and to make this place not only safe, it will make it better, happier, and worthy to defend, madam.
Okay, you know what I like about this is I can see everybody on the platform. I can see everybody. So if you raise your hand, I see you. I'll bring you out. I wouldn't want to overcrowd the room because I want Great to have some peace in the big room until later in the show. Right now, we want to listen to the leader. He's telling us how he wants to pilot the affairs of the state, and it's good to have him in focus. So if you overcrowd the room now, it might dilute that, please. But I'm really quite impressed. I see Professor, and I want to hear from Prof. So, Prof, I'm going to bring you back on the platform. Prof, you are with us now. I'm talking of Professor. I pronounce it wrongly, but I'm going to let you say it again. Prof, do you have anything to say about Chief Great Ogboru? Do you have a question or something to contribute?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Can you hear me now? Yeah.
I have hear you very well.
I would say that I have much, but I just want to ask one question because Chief Great Ogboru, I've been with him for over 20 years now in the political terrain, and that is why I'm just like his younger brother. I think like him, I reason like him. But I want to ask Chief one question. By the time the people of Delta State elect you as the governor, how are you going to manage the failures of the past government and move the state forward?
Okay. You want to know how the damages have been done going to be fixed? Is that the question, sir?
No, Prof. I think the question is a bit open-ended.
Yes.
Let me recraft it.
Which aspect of your failures are we talking about?
Okay. You know, what we witness in Nigeria is that when a new government comes into stay, instead of venting their their anger of underdevelopment to development of the state, they bend backwards to pursue and waste all their energy in pursuing people who have done the state wrongly. And by the end of fourth or the first tenure, they have done nothing. So on the basis of that, that is where my question comes. That
Okay,
how are you going to treat the backlog of misgovernance people to retrieve money from them or try to make them account for their wrongs? Or you are going to be focused on your manifesto to emancipate debtors?
Prof, thank you very much. You see, the starting point is Jubilee agenda. The Jubilee agenda is actually a biblical instruction. In the Bible, Jubilee is actually every 50 years. But if you went to the dictionary, it talks about also 25 years. Delta State's political experience about 25 years now. But the essence is that at Jubilee, all who have been enslaved, all who have been in chains, all who have been in bondage, all slaves, all bondsmen, all bondswomen, all bondchildren, they are set free. The Jubilee agenda is about freeing all Deltans. It's not about trying to come and create a vendetta against previous regimes. And in any case, if I were to do that, what would they say? That Great Ogboru is on a vendetta because we defeated him before, we cheated him, now he's a vendetta. No, a man with a mind of vendetta cannot succeed in governance. Take the story of Mandela, for instance. What did Mandela do in South Africa? He simply said, no, we are all one, we have to put that behind us. If now you take this history of colonialism, colonialism took place, there was a lot of injustice, there were reparations that were not paid, but all of that also has become history. What we are saying by the Jubilee agenda is, okay, the time has come when Delta State must have a new lease of life. And that is not for some Deltans, it's for all Deltans. And the story of Joseph in the Bible is also quite instructive. When his own brothers, after so many atrocities against him, still came and bowed before him. And they thought that he was going to have the spirit of vengeance against them. But of course, because God had put him and prepared him for that purpose, he was able to forget and to forgive and to look forward. The Jubilee agenda is to look forward, is to forgive people, is to make sure that we use all the energies that we have to work for the people of Delta State and not to dispense those energies trying to pursue shadows.
Thank you, thank you. You see, tonight we are in the presence of greatness. His name is Great Ogboru, and I hope, Prof, your question has been well answered. I wanted to bring Ambassador Frank on the platform, but I want you to sit well so the audience will enjoy you. All right, Ambassador. So we want to bring you on the platform well so that we can hear you. If you want to have anything to contribute to.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So here we are. I want to hear from Ambassador Frank because the chat room is full here and the WhatsApp is full. They have questions. I mean, phone calls. They want to contribute. So before I bring them in, let's quickly hear from you, Ambassador. And for those, I can see a lot of people like Sylvester, Sammy, and all of them. I can't see your video, so I will not be able to bring you in. If I see your video and you signify interest, I will bring you out to talk to Honorable. That is Chief just joined the wife. Okay, we lost somebody out there, and that is Prof. We remove Prof. That's fine. Makes our easier. All right, let me welcome the Dunwelu of Ogariki Kingdom. He's right here with the wife. The wife has been with us. Chief, you're welcome to the program, sir. Okay, I know. Sorry.
You can talk. My boy, and I'm one. Think I'm here, cheerio. Enjoy show one. I enjoy one about the motor road. Organizing one. Thank you very much. No.
Yes. So, Ambassador, do you have anything quickly to say? Because these people here, they're going to slap me if I waste much of their time.
Thank you, my moderator. Thank you, my moderator. I want to appreciate everybody in the house. I was very young when I started hearing about Chief Great Ogboru. Back then, my father has followed him for over 23 years.
Wow.
You can't write the history of Delta State without mentioning Chief Great Ogboru. He is a political octopus. He has a spread across the 25 local governments. A man whose political family has produced the Deputy Senate President. That's to tell you he's a successful man.
Yes.
And I want to believe that this time we are getting it right. Delta State will jubilate again with Chief Great Ogboru. I'm very confident he has been winning election, and those little elements that has been opposition to our success, this time those elements has been eliminated. Now Delta will rejoice again. The Jubilee agenda is an agenda that will bring Delta State to the streamlight, to be among one of the economic states in Nigeria. I tell you the gospel truth, it has been so shocking in Delta State, but the Jubilee agenda is bringing a fresh breath, is bringing a joy. And I want to believe that Delta State this time are very happy to have Chief Great Ogboru on the race again. And I'm very optimistic that APGA is taking over Delta State. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
In fact, I cannot agree with you more because, to be honest, I was almost jealous when I saw the qualification or the people that were running for the Anambra State governorship race, and I said, I wish this is better. Now, when I saw Great and all the things, now I'm excited. So it is a pleasure. It's a thing of joy to see that these are our candidates and they are all able to have Great on the ballot. Is a blessing. And Great, all we can say is thank you. You've inspired many. You might not know. In fact, I was talking, I will just say this on a personal level. I was talking about with a chief from my place, and he talked to me about how he was looking for a job. He mentioned some curable people who never listen. But when he met your junior brother in Lagos, the same day they gave him a letter, he got a job that took him to, they were flown to Port Harcourt, and that man worked in Angola, and he went in America and came back. That is he has not been here. That is, I'm talking of Chief Edward Onobosa. He's from Ogara. If he's here now, he will be jumping. You understand? He's not aware that I know he might join the show and he might have no chance to follow it. So these are testimonies, sir, of people you have touched, and whether they agree or not, you've touched lives, and I hope and I really wish we can, at a point, really come together and say, hey, this is the right man for the job. But the poll is around the corner. That's why we're here. Chief has presented his manifestos. The Jubilee on excite me. To be honest, number one on my list is the angle where he's going to engage the local government, which is really going to bring in a lot of growth. And the young people will actually participate in the way they are being governed. And I'm going to, on that basis, I'm quickly going to bring in the group because they are here. And I'm going, okay, guys, I'm now with you. Those of you on the platform, keep it simple. I'm now here. You're going to make your questions simple and direct. First, I'm going to allow Sir Godwin. Godwin, you're the first to speak and make it brief, please. We have short time, and we're gonna make this brief. And I'm gonna put all the Great for everybody else. We'll be seeing more of Great now, please. Thank you. But this is English, really, because we're talking about Godwin is the character. Yes, sir.
Kidi ọmọdókó tó gógó dẹ̀ òsì okú èrè wọ̀dà mẹ́rin.
Àná
ọ̀sán abálé bíbí wo bọ̀ One we had to.
Yes, sir. The yellow wall. That's okay. Wonyome. Wonyome. It's on there. Where? He paused.
Yes, we come here.
That's joy there.
He's talking.
From the screen, people
yes.
cannot hear you.
I cut myself off the screen. I know why I did that. Now I'm in the screen. Sorry, guys. I'm very sorry. I understand. I tried to leave because there was too much noise. Yes, go on.
Yeah,
I'm with that.
So because Obo was a surobonebu poto,
That increase it.
or you bring number one priority where. Then number two, Obo was a quemo robokube, me kwenwe mama because the devil me mrene wovi bori wa rekube wovi bori di rukubo jakasari robo veta na. Ini of ekunu. Ini of hon afi do boy family na kubaro ya hon avio. O honi o wa. George honi robo kubaro. So organize catch up. They gave vote to get where. Organize the bureau what they know. Opo was I will or the number one because Roboco no can make for no cover my.
Okay. Okay, guys, I'm not going to stop any call and pick your call. So if you are on call, please wait. I will bring you in. I know it's going to be a very difficult night. It's going to be difficult to manage. But I don't. The question from Godwin is quite simple. He just want Chief.
Well, it wasn't a question as such. It was an
yes,
advice.
He was making a statement.
Yes,
and making a plea.
That,
yes,
we should try to unite and reconcile Urobo.
Yes.
But as governor of Delta State, I have to reconcile Delta State first.
Delta State, I understand that.
To bring Urobo up.
Hey,
so my agenda is to make sure that all past and all peoples of Delta State actually are able to live and to be proud of their heritage.
Thank you, sir.
And I think if that is done, Delta State will be richer for it.
Yes. I don't see any point. If only the Urobo is benefiting, I think we all want to benefit. But if we are the senior, then we want to eat the lion's share. And that is our right to do so.
You know, we thought about all of this carefully when we came up with the Equal Opportunity Local Government Development Initiative.
We'll come to that.
There's no art to decide who is senior, who is junior, who is big, and who is small. So if we are getting the same thing, I think we can manage.
True.
We can manage. We can manage.
True.
Yeah.
True. Anyway, I have a lot of. I'm going to bring them in one by one because if they don't have a chance to talk to you, I'm not going to sleep. So I'm going to bring in Barrister Solomon. Barrister Solomon is on the platform. Barrister, like I said, is going to be brief. And if you're not talking, please mute your phone. If you're not talking, mute your phone. Thank you.
A very good evening to you all.
Good evening, sir.
And a very special warm good evening to Chief Great Ogboru.
Good evening,
and,
sir.
You are welcome to the program, sir.
Thank you very much.
I am Barrister Solomon. I'm calling all the way from the United Kingdom.
Okay.
I want to ask you a question, and the question is that, which legacy will you prefer to be remembered for, particularly in the cosmopolitan city of Delta State that has been characterized with political fragmentation, mendacities, party dichotomies, and trichotomies? Thank you very much, sir.
Well, first, our agenda is not about thinking of what legacy we should be leaving behind. That will be an epitaph after our time. What legacy did we leave behind? But let me put it this way. We want to first do a very good job. And that good job is in our manifesto, which I've commended to you, the Jubilee Agenda. If we are able to do what is here, that is enough, and it's a veritable legacy for anybody to leave behind. So I want to be judged by what we have said we'll do here. And if we have done so, and if we have done it well, I will believe, or I want to believe, that by the grace of God, you could not wish for a better legacy.
Thank you, sir. I agree. Because at the end of the day, Chief has a mission, and he's saying that if this mission is accomplished, that is his legacy. And
that's the legacy.
To be honest, that is his legacy. And
that is no glib talk. The manifesto covers all aspects of Delta State. But most importantly, the equal opportunity local government development we talked about, and of course, the investment in those areas of comparative advantage, and the change of value, most importantly. Those are not issues for ordinary politicians. These are issues that define society and the future. If we're able to create a new mindset for Deltans, I want to think that the sky will be the limit. The legacy I want to leave behind is not about bricks and blocks. It's about the development of the human mind and the development of how society reacts and confronts its challenges.
We are blessed.
Thank you.
Deltans, we are blessed. Deltans, we are blessed. Deltans, all I can say to you tonight is we are blessed. I keep it like that because I'm here moderating, so I'm not allowed to vote. If not, I will vote right now. Okay, the time will come. I'm going to vote though. Right now, I'm going to bring in Pastor Sonny. Pastor Sonny, make it brief, make it simple, so that it's direct to the point. Thank you, sir. Quickly.
Daddy, please, I will come up later. I'm having problem with my network.
Okay, that's fine. Then mute it for now. Mute it. When I see you,
Daddy Christian, the pastor to pray and fast a little, it will work.
It will work. That's what we do best. You know? We pray a lot.
You can anoint his head. It's going to work.
Yes, sir. Listen, Samson, I like to hear from you. Samson is always one of our regular man. It's sort to me from France. From Samson, let's hear from you. What do you people in France have to say? We want to know what Deltans in France, not Robo, Deltans in France. What do people we want to hear? What do you want to see when Chief Great Ogboru becomes the governor? Samson, if we lost your chance now, then I will jump. Are you there, Samson?
What do you people in France have to say? I want to know what Deltans in France.
Can you please mute? Put one down. Samson, you can do better now. Can you just speak English so that I know we are allowed to speak Robo, but this is actually Chief Great here is on the capacity, is running for the governor of Delta State, not for Robo State. So I will beg that we put this program a little bit more in English or even speak Pidgin so that the rest of Deltans can hear us. Because we are here to tell, he's here to tell the people his agenda, and the questions might be beneficial to every Deltans, not only Orobo. So I'm begging you, it's not as if you're not allowed to speak. Yes, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, sir.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Great Ogboru, sir.
That's allowed.
As an man, I will use that language for my elderly people.
Agree.
We thank you very much for all you have said, all your information, all what you have just said is a very good word to make Delta State move forward. And I'm happy that you are into marine, because I love marine so much, and I know Delta State is going to look like Miami if we have good governor to rule our state, like the riverine area. Those areas are like Miami when development takes place in that area. Thank God you are a marine man, you know more what I'm talking about. When people do go to the seaside to see what is happening, you see life. The development of marine in Delta State, please, how are you going to do those areas? Thank you very much.
Yes. Unfortunately, the Nigerian network, like Sonny cried out, is raised its ugly head again. But we're here. We are still on the platform. This is the town hall meetings, and we are in the presence of greatness. His name is Chief Great Ogboru, the Delta State gubernatorial candidate under the APGA. Is he the Alliance of People's? I'm trying to get the name, so I'm trying not to make mistakes. So it's easy when I say APGA. You guys know the party. Ladies and gentlemen, that is why we're here. But right now, his network is a little bit fluctuating. So once he's back, I'm going to put the question, which he's very interested in. He's talking about the marine. And for those of you who are on the platform already, I want you to know that you can put your question. If you put the question, if you write it out there on the if you put a comment, if you're watching from Facebook or YouTube, you put a comment, I'll see it here and I'll put it to our guest. And it's very important that we ask questions, and please keep it civil.
Alliance, APGA.
If you're not talking, if you mute your phone, it will help, so that when it becomes easier to manage. Thank you very much. So we are here tonight, rubbing shoulders, asking difficult questions, and I think Chief Great Ogboru is up to the task. He has told us a lot about his manifestos. If you do not take a look at the Jubilee agenda, please try and get a copy. Like I said, what impressed me in all, and I am being sincere here, is when he talks how he's going to work with the local government to bring development to the grassroots. I think that's something that is missing, because we know that local government has been redundant. The government know what I'm saying. Tell me which local government is active in your state. Do you have a local government? What have they done? If their allocation is up to 200 million in a month and they have nothing to show for it, is that not a sin? It's a sin against humanity. That is what I found really, really exciting, and I'm very happy. Yes, I'm with you. I'm going to bring Chief back. I'm here with you, Stephanie. But once you get this set, I'm going to bring you back and bring Chief back on the platform. So I'm just, I'm taking the position of Chief for now before he comes on board. So yes, so that is where we are. Chief will be here to answer the questions on the marine. And for those of you who have more questions, please keep it quick, and we're going to bring you guys on board. We're going to keep the program no more than 2 hours, please. 2 hours is a lot on a town hall meeting. 1 hour, 30 minutes is the ideal time. What that means is we have about 13 minutes left on the show. So, but I'm going to make sure everybody have the opportunity to ask questions. But if you make it short and direct, then it becomes easier. Then we can meet. That's how we will say it, so that we can go around. Yes, what is for those of you just joining us, this is a town hall meetings organized by ASR TV. I'm broadcasting from London, and the beauty of it is people join me from all over the world. I have guests from America, from Germany, from Nigeria, from France. The man that called is from France, UK. We are flooded. all over the world. And I can see here on my platform, we are multinational. That is what we have. I'm going to bring Chief Great back. He's right here with me right now. So, and I'm going to let him take the stage. Chief, oh, okay, you're still working. They're still trying to get it fixed. They're still trying to fix it. Once that is done, I will bring Chief back. Once we are done, Stephanie will have to leave Chief for us so that we can handle whatever happens. In the meantime, if anybody have anything to say, I'll be allowing it. If a prof were still on the platform, I would have bring in. And very many people join through videos. I've not been able to add all of you to it. But in the meantime, I'm going to read one or two questions. And you know, one of the questions I really like to read. I always like to read one from Kevin. And I'm not biased here. I'm just going to read what Kevin has written. He said, the Jubilee agenda should be on a soft copy that can be spread everywhere through every social media. It will be very hard for everyone to have the hard copies. Time is not on our side. Agreed. And when I get out of this place, the first thing I'm going to do is to make sure that the Jubilee agenda is available in soft copies for people to download. I can put it on our website, on our social media, and I'll be spreading it so that people can actually go through it and make their decision. That's a good observation. Thank you very much for that. So in the meantime, I'll be reading some of the questions and it will be good. And if you have answers to some of the questions that will be said, you can actually say, if you have any testimony to say about Chief Great Ogboru, here's the time. But I can be honest with you that first question I asked Great is one thing I think everybody should go back and look at. I asked him, this is an extraordinary time, that we need an extraordinary governor, somebody that thinks outside the box. What single him out? He answered it. He started, I thought I made a mistake because I gave him too much room to, he has an extraordinary life. A man who had an issue with the government of Nigeria, you all knows what happened then, and everything he had at the tender age of 32 were taken away. He went on exile, came back. While there, he studied. He left the country with $600. Today, he's back, another multi-billionaire. With that experience, I think he's somebody we need to respect. And many times I beg him to be on the red chamber to shake the nation for us again. But we'll come to that another day. Right now, right here, I'm still waiting for Chief Great to join us and join us well so that we can develop, we can build. Oh, Chief Great is here already. So, and Chief, you are here. You are here, sir. Yes, yeah. Chief is back, and I'm going to. Chief, there was a question, sir, which came from Samson in France. He asked that if that because you're a marine man, I think he's trying to take advantage of that. That when you become governor, what will you do to revitalize our marine sector in Delta State? Because we have all the potential. That could be a great source of income for us and job for very many.
Yes,
Samson,
you see,
yes, you are right.
Thank you.
I'm talking
Yes,
about
what
the
we-
riverine area, the jogs, the Shekiri,
Okay, good.
some part of the Urubus,
Good.
Urubus and others, also in the river like Okrigala. What is going to be the benefit in the marine sector? Because you're a marine man and I know you can deal with it in fishing companies and others because we have the seashore. Thank you very much, sir.
Yes, we in this manifesto we said here that there will be massive investment in the marine sector, and the marine sector is quite huge, and the opportunities that are in that sector are incalculable. First, let us now look at the people in the maritime, in the riverine communities. What type of transportation do they have? What type of communities do they live in? Those are the immediate challenges that we have to tackle to make sure that these riverine communities are not actually supposed to be what they are today, which are just next to the forest in terms of habitation. No, we can actually make them beautiful. We can actually make them habitable. And then to create a modern system of transportation for them. I see they are still using these speed boats all over the place. But we have things like hovercraft that they can use easily and effectively. But then we need to actually train people from those communities so that they acquire skills in the management of the technology that can make life better in those communities. And I'm not trying to say this because I'm a politician or I'm trying to ask for votes. I think that when you take the maritime school and put it in Asaba, and then the people who are supposed to acquire those technology and are in Burutu, I think you are doing a disservice. So yes, we have to change the environment in their living environment by making sure we give them better housing facilities, better quality services in terms of supply of material needs, in terms of housing, education, job opportunities, and what have you, and give them a sense of belonging. That's why we said we will give them 200 million naira every month. Whatever their challenges are, they know better. They will do what it is or what is necessary for them to develop themselves. But having said that, it is the duty of the state to aid those efforts. Those areas are physically challenged, and we must respect that. We have to we have to give additional attention to make sure that we mitigate the physical challenges in those environments. That's the job of the government. Specifically, what we are going to do is to make sure that those communities are actually livable, they are habitable, and they are fit for human existence or human coexistence. I think that's all the government can do. If we secure them and they have jobs, anybody can live anywhere. If you have jobs and you have the means of livelihood, I think that you will be able to live in those environments. But having said that, at the industrial scale or level, we're actually thinking that we have some ports that have not been working, for instance, and that those ports have to be better utilized. I have in my head or in my brain the need to try to make all containerized goods, for instance, come to Warri, but we do not have the kind of resources to make that happen. Delta State as a government will invest in those capabilities to make sure that we're able to use, even if by barges, to transport all containers that are for Delta State, for the Eastern region, or part of Eastern region, part of Western region, through the Warri Port, for instance. That will create economic activities there. And some of the people in these riverine communities that have been challenged can actually have access to working in those kind of environment. But that also must come with good, adequate, and safe transportation. I do not believe that we must continue with canoes. I do not believe that we're going to do this passport 19 or whatever they call those things. No, those are risky. Recently, you saw some people went to campaign in one of these river communities, and some people died. The boat capsized. So we have to also be conscious of the fact that because it's not my child does not mean we must not think about them and the kind of challenges they face. If they were going in a hovercraft, which is safe and secure, the state must subsidize that type of transportation because it's the job of the state to so do. So there is a plan for everybody in Delta State. We'll look at all the issues, we look at all the challenges, we look at the resource constraint, but the will and the ability we must bring to bear to make it possible that all of Delta State will feel the effect and the importance or the import of governance.
Okay, you see, what I'm gonna do for those of you who have joined through video is when we finish with spending difficult time with Chief, great, I'm gonna allow all of you to say what you think at the end of the town hall meeting. One comment, it could be 1 minute, that's how I'm gonna round it up. So don't be discouraged. Don't think you wasted your time coming on the video platform. Right now, let us handle those of them who joined through the video, through voice call. Let's quickly handle this because a lot of calls are still coming in. If I can rush this quickly, then we can talk. It's a town hall meeting. It's not me talking to him alone. It's an opportunity for everybody to have this interactive section, and I think we're all enjoying that. So I'm going to quickly bring in Ishapuri, Oganero. Oganero, make a question direct, brief, and I trust you. But make sure your phone, sometimes your phone is always giving us headache. Let us hear from you quickly. quickly. You know, when everybody should be allowed. So when I just get to you, you just get or you pick it and you go. Thank you.
Yeah, that because let other people ask. I'm still I'm on my way.
Okay.
I'm listening, please.
All right. So
Welcome, sir.
Okay. Rufus is calling from Libya. Libya is the Libya man. I always call the young man the Libya man. Go on, Libya man.
Thank you very much, sir.
Go on, sir.
Chief Megwo,
Brendo, how are you?
We are so privileged to have Chief here tonight. May God bless him for coming to this program tonight.
Thank you very much.
What I want to ask is about the agricultural aspect of Delta State. Because Delta State has been backward when it comes to agriculture. Because we have been backward. We have been known for agriculture from the beginning of our life. But today we have nowhere to be found. And out of the 36 states of Nigeria, Delta State happens to be the most expensive territory. When you go to the market to buy foodstuff, we don't even get it easy. So our people are hungry. So what is it going to do differently that will bring back our agricultural sector? That is what I want him to state on. That's what I want to ask. So what is going to do differently for the agricultural sector of Delta State? Thank you.
Go on.
Well, the agricultural sector is no different from what we've been saying all along. We are taking a holistic view on how Delta State can be developed. In terms of agriculture, we have actually looked at an integrated farm settlement arrangement in each local government. We are saying that each local government must be able to produce something. And not only that, we are saying that we will have a board, like we used to have the produce board that will harness the produce from the farmers, creating a ready market for them and making sure that their produce are not gone to spoilage. So not only are we going to make people go back to farm, we will assist them by so doing. And today, farming has to be mechanized. We can no longer expect people to go and carry hoes and cutlass and say they are farming. No. But the technology needed for farming today has to be state-led or state-assisted. So in this critical area of farming, we are going to bring experts from abroad to come and help us to organize our farming society and our farming lifestyle so that we can be able to produce what we eat. And then to set up agro-allied industries to harness those produce and to make sure there's a value chain. Michael Porter put it this way. He says that profit comes from value chains, but politically, social benefits come from those value chains. So from the produce, that is from the harvest, or from the farming to the harvest, to the distribution and to the harnessing of all of those produce, there's a value chain there. And it's all about creating opportunities and employment. So we are quite aware of the importance of agriculture. In fact, we must say that it is a categorical imperative that we must give agriculture a very, 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 very high place in our estimation and in our thinking and in our planning. So don't you bother yourself, don't you fret. We will take good care of this because that is the beginning of all economy, to make sure that we grow something that we produce. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you, Chief. And I think that answers Andrew's secret question. Is called. He also dropped a question on the platform from Italy. He asked, please, great, what will you do about agriculture in Delta State? Thank you. I think that question has been answered. Great. I'm going to try and bring in some of your questions. Not all I can put in, so please bear with me. I'm not by heart, but you know I'm still a human being, so it's the one I think that I'm more pressing that I will bring quickly. I'm going to let Akpokona quickly weigh in. Akpokona quickly, and that's why I say everybody should be ready. We can direct. Go on.
Okay, sir. Mingwo.
Bendo.
Chief Mingwo.
Bendo.
Okay. My question goes like this. I don't know. I know Ogboru de Ugede power sector. Why should we do differently to make sure say good data have 24 hours to and we can supply other states?
You're talking about electricity, right?
Yes.
From we know we have from Sapele and Ukele. I can well or there to supply other places where we don't get 24 hours light for data state?
That's a question. All right.
Well, thank you very much, Akbo Kene, I think.
Akpokona.
Here, we also said here, part of the areas that we have comparative advantage in Delta State is energy production. Unfortunately, a lot of the energy that is produced in Delta State is transmitted and distributed elsewhere. So whereas we have the capabilities, we have the potential to even harness and use them here, they're actually taken above us elsewhere. So we are living in perpetual darkness. That's not going to continue for long because we are going to negotiate with the government of Nigeria to tell them that X amount of generated power, generated power must, as a necessity. We don't want it for free. You have to drop some of this. This quantity must be taken by Delta. The state of Delta should be able to subsidize this and then to distribute to its people. We cannot allow this type of opportunities pass because we are not generating. No, as a state government, we can negotiate with the power generating companies and to say stem down this quantity of power for our own use. And by God, if we are generating it and we're getting nothing, I don't think that is fair. The same goes with the oil and gas sector. We have oil, we have crude oil here, we haven't got any refineries. We have crude oil here and nobody's working in an oil company. We have crude here and then we are importing petrol every day. That's not going to happen for too long. We are going to insist to the federal government of Nigeria that we want to actually process, refine X quantity of crude produced in our land so that our people can have jobs, so that they can have opportunities. That is the way to go. I'm actually looking at not less than 30% of the total crude come from Delta to be refined in this state. The government that will come will listen to us because everybody is now conscious of the fact that there is need to reverse and to change the paradigm.
Well, in fact, when you raise that kind of issue, any president will listen. I will stop there.
No, please, let me put it this way. The truth of the matter is, we keep on blaming the federal government for everything. But nobody is going to meet the federal government and to tell them, look, my people are this, we need this type of help. And this is how we're going to do it. They're not. The government will listen. The government will listen. Don't listen to them when they tell you the government is not care. It's a lie. The leaders of your states are not doing their job.
Agree.
That's the truth.
Looking
they
for
don't
who
know
to
what
blame.
to do. But that's also, Chris, we talked about adding value to the money from Abuja. This is the way to add value to governance.
Yes, sir.
To bring initiative, using the resources of the people to best serve them, deploying the resources, of course, usually scarce, to meet their needs adequately and appropriately. That's what governance is all about. Governance is not about Yahoo. Governance is not about jamborees. Governance is not about how many flashy cars you have. No, it's about caring for the people and making sure that the people live a good life, making sure that society is organized, making sure there's order. That's what governance is all about. If you don't have the capacity, quit.
Thank you, sir. And I'm going to take this from Kevin again. I'm going to read it out. You don't have to respond, Chief. He said, Chief Great Ogboru is the only governorship candidate in the ballot that can face the federal government to do the needful about our seaport opening in Delta State. I leave that. I'm not opening that to Chief now. It's just a comment.
I can answer that question. Look,
okay,
it is not about confrontation. Yes. It's about dialogue and it's about reason. You have to speak to the government and speak to power and to make them do the right thing. And I think that anybody who is president of Nigeria is above average intelligence to know when the right thing should be done. Give them the appropriate particularized agenda and they will implement it with you willfully because it also brings benefits to them.
Well, I said it before, and I'm going to say it again. We are in the presence of greatness, and his name is Chief Great Ogboru, right here, right now. It's a town hall meetings that increased all the way from London. I'm going to take one quick question from Sonny. We may not be able to accommodate everything tonight. Sonny, make it brief. I'm giving you one chance. This is the last one. And then we're going to let Chief round up, and I'm going to let people make in one or two comments before we close tonight. Quickly, Pastor Sonny.
Daddy Chris, God bless you.
Thank you.
I want to greet our honorable Chief Great Ogboru. You have made Urobo proud. Special thanks.
He has made Delta proud, made Nigeria proud. Let's be honest. On a national level, yes, sir. Thank you.
So my question is that Urobo happened to be the 4th tribe in Nigeria. We all know that some people believe that we are number 5. I joined number 4. But today I was also with the new UPU president. He confirmed me that Urobo is number 4 tribe in Nigeria. And one of the great problems we are facing, the Urobos, how come that when we are known at the federal, when we're supposed to be going for presidency, we will not fall back home? We see it in the life of Franco Kori, who was known in Nigeria, Nupek Sherman, that shaped the entire nation in time of Abacha. He retired home. Ibori and all that, they retired home. You were known at the time, you were a household name in Nigeria. You are now in Delta State vying for the position of governor. Omar Agege was known at the federal as a deputy speaker in the national, known at the federal, coming back to Delta State as a governor. Why is it that our people, the 4th tribe, Urobo, cannot go for the federal position, presidency and all that, big position to fight at the federal, after being known at the federal, coming back home to seek for position? I will need clarification on this.
Okay, what was the name again?
This is Pastor Sonny Aigbe.
Okay, that was the pastor who I said
the one who lost network with.
Sonny, let me tell you that charity begins at home. And that if you are not able to put your house in order, you have no business talking about the house of somebody else. Delta State is where the Urobos are. Rightly said, you said we're the majority tribe in this state, yes. But what have we shown by our size? What has the size of the Urobo nation in Delta State meant to us? Over the past 20 years or 24 years, we have been playing politics at the expense of our people, at the expense of the people of Delta State, at the expense of the people of Urobo land. And that is why we are in this situation where we found ourselves. Yes, I'm eminently qualified to be president of Nigeria, and I don't think that is just because I'm talking to anybody. But there must be a platform on which you can do that. You're not going to come from the street and say you want to be president of Nigeria. Where are you coming from? If those elections that they were rigging us out were not rigged out, I'm sure by the time we will have done the Jubilee agenda 15 years ago or so, Nigeria will have applauded us to say, come and lead. But that didn't happen, not because of anything, but because too many people in Delta State are docile. When we should have responded to the need to say no to dictatorship, no to violence, no to rigging of elections, no to corruption, we sat down and we even actually using our churches and our pastors to welcome criminals as people who had conquered trophies. And that is where you are. If you have to sow wind, you must reap whirlwind. When you sow wrongful values, you must reap the benefits. That's why you are where you are. Nothing good comes out of evil. If you are in a society and you are not able to determine what is right and what is wrong, or you condone what is wrong and you expect good to come out of it, you are done for. And that is this. If I must be specific, I think that is where the Urobo nation found itself. You were sitting down in Urobo land, allowing non-existent votes to form government for you. And you are clapping for some persons and calling Great Ogboru as if I should go and carry machine gun and start to shoot everybody down. No, there's a constitution here. But if we all stick, or if we all stuck to the constitution of Nigeria and defended it and said no to injustice, no to useless behavior, no to violence, no to election rigging, no to criminality, I am sure that many more Urobos will have come out of Urobo land and they will have been in higher places. But we were living here clapping for non-entities, clapping for the wrong choices, clapping for the wrong values. you have to pay the price. This is the price. Unfortunately, Sonny, that's the truth. Maybe some of those criminals who won elections by rigging out people carrying ballot boxes may have come to your church. So I don't know if they did. If they did, you are guilty also. So blame yourself.
They do good offerings, sir. They do big offering for pastors. Sonny is happy. So what they concern my brother?
Sonny was there. It's where
Even
your people will move far. They work out.
Chief, I want to read this comment. I didn't read this comment. It's very important, Chief. And I don't expect you to respond, Chief. I'm not saying you should respond, but this is a good one.
Go ahead.
This is coming from one of my man here. His name is Joseph. Joseph said he's great. He's a successful businessman. Way before the incident in the 90s. I believe he has the capacity to demand equity for the state from the center. Good luck to him and hope he wins. Anyway,
Chris, I need to ask a question, please.
A quick one, you push me down. I will let you do it quickly. All right, go on.
No, Chris, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Chief is hearing you as well.
Yeah. Okay. Meanwhile, because great of the job, but thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thank you.
I just have one question to ask.
Yeah, go
you
ahead.
know, Delta State filled up with oil wells in the outdoor oil wells. Let me put it that way. And this oil wells are being operated by foreign companies, and some of them they are owned by Northerners in the country. As if you become the governor of Delta State, what are you going to do so that we can retrieve this oil well back to our people, so that our people can acquire this oil well and use it for development of our states? So what are you going to do as the governor? Because that's something we can tap into and use to develop our state. Thank you so much.
That is also an error. Chief, just to add to Maze's question, I know sometimes we're expecting you to do magic, but it's a question that...
no, I'll answer the question.
And I wanted to add one to it. There's a question from this platform. He said, what is Chief plan on reviving our hailing industry? I think that is the language, yes. He talks about how do you revive the industry, because Delta State had a couple of industries that are dead now. So if you can just put the two together, it becomes 2 in 1.
Repeat that first part of the question again. Let me be.
Okay, he said, "What is Chief's plan? What's your plan on reviving
for retrieving the
reviving them?
Oil wells, yes. Is it revive or to retrieve?
It's a revive, yes, sir. Revive. That's
revive. You don't have any oil wells to revive. I think what he was saying was that.
Chris, I said, how can we acquire those oil wells back from those Northerners or those companies? Because
yes,
Ogboru has the power, he has the charisma. We know him to be the man for the people. So he has the charisma to deliver. So how is he going to do that? How is he going to initiate that so that this oil well can come back to our people? So we can start investing to this oil wells in our state.
Okay, 2 things.
Because we can use this oil well.
Excuse me. You know, the Bible says that God is not an author of chaos or confusion.
No.
I am not coming to become governor to be an author of chaos. I want to come to make sure that Deltans going forward can participate or have a piece of the action. Yes. We cannot retrieve what has been sold without paying consequences for it, and sometimes terrible consequences. So it suffices to say that we want a piece of the action. We want to have modular refineries in Delta State. We want those oil that we are refining or the crude from our crude oil fields. Some of it, at least 30%, refine them. Let's refine them in our own place. If we are getting the benefits of that, if you are the one, how do you call? How do you say now? You have the license. You are drilling. You are exploiting the oil, and we are taking part of it and having a livelihood from it. There's nothing wrong. I don't believe that property of the state should be put in the hands of a few people. Don't get me wrong. But having said that, you cannot rewind the hands of the clock. These things are things that have been done so several years ago, and you cannot change them. It's only now to look at what has been done and how you can position. That's all I'm trying to say. To retrieve any oil wells from anybody, but we are going to say that crude oil that comes from our land, we want to refine some of it, and we will do so by dialogue with the government and by dialogue with the producers. And of course, I know that there are some oil companies that have left our shores and gone elsewhere. That's not something that is good. It's not a good thing. But don't forget that it is the activities of our youth, the activities of our politicians who sponsor those youth, kidnapping foreigners, making life unsafe for them, that drove them out of worry, drove them out of all the cities in the South. That's why they left. Now, who are you going to blame? Are you going to blame the people who ran away for the safety of their lives? Or you are going to blame your youths who were rascally enough not to understand that the presence of these entrepreneurs was actually for their good? So, yes, when we create this environment, we'll be able to talk to them to come back again. We'll be able to extract from our youth and from our community leaders and all our top leaders that never again will they resort to this type of negative and evil behavior, where you kidnap a man who came to your own country and went and put him in a slum, and then you demand ransom money, and then you are never caught. That's not going to happen in Delta State. Let me just tell you the truth. As governor of Delta State, forget about it. There will be no kidnappers in this.
I like that. It's a statement of fact, and it's emphatic that if he becomes the governor, there will be no kidnapping in the state.
There will never be any kidnapper. We will track it down, and you will pay dearly for it.
Learn it, hear it, and deal with it. Ladies and gentlemen, we've had this great moment with Chief Great Ogboru. He's the governorship candidate of the APGA in Delta State. For those of you who have not picked up your PVC, please do so. There's only one thing you can do to make this change. Go that day and vote the right person. And you've heard him clearly. He's made it clear. For the purpose of these town hall meetings, I am still going to allow, I know it will be allowed. Young, are you there? Because I'll allow you to say something about Chief. If you're there, Young. Young, are you there? It would be wrong not to give you the chance to do so. But if I cannot even allow Young to speak, I know Young will forgive me. Ladies and gentlemen, we've had a wonderful moment with Chief Great Ogboru. Now, sir, I now know why people love you. And until this moment, I don't think Deltans, or even we, the Robos, I had the opportunity to listen to you in this manner. Young, are you there? It would be wrong not to give you the your network is always a disaster from that place. And can we hear you? Okay. Well, I am going to give Chief the few minutes to say one final thing about to us tonight, and then we're going to try and put this show to an end. But before then, I like this. I'm going to read one or two things for you. And one is coming from Cornelius Johnny. He said, Deltans, can we allow the light to shine in the state? Okay. Now he's talking about great thing about our leader. All right. I'm not going to read that one. You guys have read it. I said, and this is coming from Kevin again. He said we should always allow this town hall meetings with him at least every 2 weeks in the election. We see the light at the end of the tunnel. This is we need you every 2 weeks, sir. Because what happened tonight, we get to see you speak, sir, for the first time. I'm very sure we'll be hearing this great man, great. And what is it about him? So I am now convinced, and I know why people love you. I am in love tonight as well. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I want to say to you all that took your time to join us in this meeting that you've done well. We honor your presence. We are grateful. Chief, we cannot say only one thing. Your manifestos is amazing. We know you have the capability. And the most important thing, you have the personality to bring the goodies to the state. Your presence. Like Godwin's used a word. He said, "Owo didi that follows you is a God-given one. Use it for us." And I know you will. Thank you so much for joining us. And like the last one comment, we hope to have you every 2 weeks before the election so that we can work with you. And for those many people on the platform, I didn't have chance to give them, I couldn't give them the opportunity to speak, and I hope they forgive us. Thank you, Chief, for coming. I don't want to bother you so much. We are grateful and we'll look forward to seeing you in Asaba as the governor.
Chris, thank you very much. House, thank you very much. Particularly, Madam, I think it was Madam Gladys and her husband.
Yes,
I salute all of us who have taken part in the program today. I believe that if we as Deltans bring to bear all of these type of things that we've talked about today, you can actually make a big and a huge difference. So it's my pleasure that I have been able to speak to you. I've been able to listen to some of your fears, and I hope that I'm glad that I was able to answer your questions.
Yes.
Thank you, because you gave me one vote at least tonight. I'm glad. Thank you
Don't
very
worry,
much.
I'll speak to my friends
Thank you very
in
much.
Nigeria.
Thank you very much, madam. Thank you very much.
God bless you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
And that is where we end it tonight.
SR TV. Innovative content, global audience.
It is Iraq. And it is Iraq for me here. And I'm proud of you. Thank you all for joining this meeting. We're going to take a day off because we'll be running this to stretch now. But we had today with Chief Ogboru. I want us to take the today and tomorrow to digest this, because I think a lot has been taken in tonight. Let us digest it. Let us use it. And we're going to, for those of you who joined the platform, please do share the video. Share the video. Whatever your true comment, you see, do not carry grievances. Do not carry, because it doesn't help anybody. I would really beg everyone that watched the show tonight to judge Chief Great Ogboru from what you have heard. And make a decision, not because of who you think is going to win, or who you think have the biggest money, or what the sidekick is telling you, but what you think is good for the state. It's good for your people, because that is good for your children and your children's children. On that note, I want to say good night and God bless you. Daddy Chris is here, and this is SR TV London. Good night.